What's up, guys? Welcome back. Let's talk some Bitcoin and let's talk some crypto because what is going to happen here in September is the Fed is projected to cut interest rates, as we all know. So I want to get into some comments from an analyst and a shocking prediction, actually, to kind of what's going to all ensue shortly after. So I'm going to break it all down for you guys. We'll take a look at the overall market. Thanks for tuning in. If you can, make sure you all subscribe right down below. Smash that like button and let me know what you think will happen to the price of Bitcoin as we do see this expected rate cut coming up in September. So let's get down into it, guys. Please remember, not financial advice. Everything we say in this video is just my opinions, not to be confused with any kind of financial advice. So please do your own research and due diligence. All right, and I do want to share with you guys this article, okay, because we're going to get into this analysts and their predictions. But this is where we're seeing Bitcoin's price right now reaching about 57,000 with a sudden kind of crash that we saw today, okay? Now, what's happened is historically, as we all know in trade crypto, September has been always a rocky, volatile month for Bitcoin, all right? And now we are seeing analysts at the crypto exchange Bitfinex right now noting that the crypto typically will see an average return of at almost 5% into the negative and a peak decline of about 24.6%. Now, if the Fed were to cut interest rates, this is where analysts are noting that this could further increase Bitcoin's volatility, potentially sending prices down by as much as 20%. Now, what they're attributing this to is the volatility is because of the summer trading lull when fund managers return from vacation and human-driven trading activity increases, okay? Sure, I could get down with that, but in my opinion, I think that a lot of this has to do with, not just the institutions, but more so just kind of where everybody is at, right? Some people are just kind of looking into their holdings. We see the red, and I think it triggers a domino effect where we just get liquidations after liquidations after liquidations, okay? And this is another quote, according to them. They're basically saying the expected rate cut in September is going to add another layer of complexity that potentially worsens market volatility, okay? Adding to that uncertainty, this is where we look into kind of comments from Jerome Powell at the annual Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. When we talked about this rate cut, which we all know that's probably going to happen, okay? Right now we're seeing the dollar at lows of 2024 against other major currencies out there, especially the euro, pound, sterling, and the yen, okay? So this is where we look into kind of the quotes and the comments even further. The speculation about the interest rate cuts being faster than initially anticipated, 100 basis points by the end of the year. That's coming out from Neil Rorty, an analyst at Stocklytics. Okay, I've talked to somebody actually over the weekend, Labor Day weekend. This person was more so into traditional finance, thinking that it'll be 25 basis points in September. Okay. That's just one man's take. I'm hearing 25, I'm hearing 50, but this is something coming down from a big private fund manager where basically we're talking about 25 basis points in his opinion, all right? So noting that market shift within the sentiment that we're seeing, that should cool the dollar expectations for the rest of 2024, but we'll have to see what that trickle-down effect is, how the other banks respond, and then that's kind of where we can couple that within Marcus Delian, CEO of 10X Research, echoing these concerns, advising some caution despite the optimistic outlook for digital assets in the medium and long term. All right. Goes on to say that while we've seen near V-shaped recoveries following declines earlier in the year, the underlying market structure and fundamentals have become increasingly weak. Recent data is suggesting that we may be approaching a critical turning point in September, and that's where demand will decline. Now, I want to get into some of my comments, which I'm going to share with you guys right here. I do want to share with you, though, today's channel sponsor. If you do any leverage trading, make sure you check out Margex. The link is down below in the description. Margex is my leverage trading platform, and right now they're doing a $500,000 Caspa airdrop that you basically only have to sign up, and I think you have to deposit or you have to trade $100 to participate and have some Caspa airdrop to you, okay, through Margex. Now, the important thing to understand about Margex is it is leverage trading. It's highly volatile, so make sure you do your own due diligence and all your homework and make sure Margex is right for you where you're located. And if you want to get started trading with leverage, use my link down below and sign up today. Okay, but let's take a shift and talk about the crypto bubbles right here. You can see kind of what I've been echoing. The market is in some red, okay? That's no surprise to anyone, right? We have failed to string together green days. This is something where we look into what we're seeing. Bitcoin right now, as at the time of recording, has bounced a little bit, 57,782. down 2.5% on the day. Ethereum almost 4% down, and some of the other top 10 cryptos are all in the red, with the exception really was XRP a little bit earlier in the day, where they were essentially flat. Okay, but I do think that it's important to kind of segue into coin market cap. We'll look at the fear and greed index. It's important to understand that we are kind of neutral within that fear and greed. So 47 is something where we look right here, and that's where we're going to look into kind of why we're down. Okay, I think this is kind of just a more of a futures bet, more of like we've talked about. This is when possibly we get out of this summer lull and the institutions look to kind of hedge some of their bets against more volatile kind of assets. That's a possibility. But the biggest thing going right now is kind of what's going to happen to Bitcoin and what's going to happen to crypto. And I think that despite seeing all these recoveries following the declines that we had earlier in the year, I just quite frankly don't understand why Bitcoin is booming. We had Bitcoin at almost all-time highs. All coins were kind of lagging the rest of the market. I think that's something where you look into digital assets, and yes, it is historically, this has been kind of par for the course for September, okay? I want to kind of preface that all by saying that my views and kind of my outlook is when we get into Q4 of 2024, I do think we're going to get bullish. I think Q1 of 2025 and into quarter two of 2025 is kind of when we're going to start to see that 9-month window of opportunity, okay? That's just how I'm playing it. Those are my thoughts. You're welcome to do whatever you want with your own, your own capital and whatever you choose to do within your crypto investments. But I'm really looking for things to heat up after the election, once we get into the back half of Q4 and then onwards for those next 9 months, okay? That's how I'm playing it. That's how I view it. But the biggest thing right now is how we're going to see the markets react to this interest rate cut that seems to be imminent for the month of September. So we have to see how the dollar reacts, how the dominance is going against the other markets. And I think this is something where it's important to understand. I don't really understand why. You talk about Bitcoin being the ultimate hedge against inflation. Well, here we are, guys. We're talking about crypto responding in a way that would be bullish and strengthening. But unfortunately, it's kind of doing the opposite of what it set out to do, right? How can you be the ultimate hedge against inflation when we're going to reduce inflation and we're going to try to see crypto go up? All right. That's just kind of how I look at it. Right now, it's kind of a, an oxymoron of sorts, but it is what it is, and we're going to have to keep continuing to monitor the markets. I just hope we get some good green days, and we can string a couple together where we can see Bitcoin rise above, let's say, 63,000, and then we can kind of look into getting that ball rolling and the domino effect that I think that will happen come, the back half of November and into December. So that's just kind of my thoughts. That's how I'm playing it. Leave your comments down below. What do you think will happen when we see these rates get cut in September? Very curious to hear your guys' take as well, but I appreciate you guys that are all tuned in. Make sure you subscribe before you do leave if you haven't done so. Smash that like button, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.